Nicholas, let's start with Impala Platinum, closing at the bottom of the top 40 today, down 4 2/3%. Bad results in line with expectations.
Yeah, look, results were out today. I mean, there were so many results, so I won't lie and say I've gone through everything in great detail. But in general, they weren't great. We didn't expect them to be great. But what is interesting to note is that compared to some of their peers, they don't seem to be doing too badly. I mean, if you compare it to the next big guy, which is Impala Platinum, I mean, Impala is light years ahead with regards to their results. Still declared a dividend. It was very small. It's more of a show that yes, we can still pay a little bit of a dividend, even if it was only R2. But at the moment, yeah, share price down a good 5%. It's below R200. That is a little bit of a critical level. I still think it's worthwhile. It's good to have Impala in your account.
Is that the platinum exposure you would choose?
That's the platinum exposure I would choose for a big blue chip account. Absolutely no doubt whatsoever. It's all about where, you know, is a good price to pay.
And a solid balance sheet.
Solid balance sheet. Look, they've got issues. Obviously, the environment is so much more difficult than it has been before. But generally speaking, not doing too badly. Just be cautious that they've got a strike on at the moment, as far as I could read in the news. That's at their main mines at the moment. But the interesting thing is Impala does produce 25% of the world's platinum. So if they have a strike, the platinum price will go up, and therefore the share could be, you know,
supply constraints will kick in,
exactly.
And of course it has the
inverse ironic,
reaction.
but it helps them as well. It's a good stock to get. Use this as an opportunity to accumulate. If you can get close to 180, I'm very happy.
Have you got
that.
a target price on it for the medium term?
Not necessarily, no, but we're looking at around about 220 to 250.
Massmart also out today. We just saw Alicia Seckham interviewing Grant Patterson there, down 2.5%, closing R77.99.
Well, look, I mean, generally speaking, the results that are coming out, companies in South Africa aren't doing too badly. Under extreme circumstances, they're still managing to pull through very nicely. And you've seen that with Massmart as well as Woolies results out yesterday.
Again, Massmart in line with expectations. I don't think there were any surprises on that front.
No major surprises on our side. It's still a fantastic company to have in one's portfolio. It might be a little bit heavy here at the R80 level, so I wouldn't be accumulating stock at this kind of area. But I think pullbacks are certainly worthwhile accumulating on Massmart. I'm quite happy with those results at the moment.
R15.09 for Woolies.
R15.09 for Woolies. That's also off from its highs. I think it managed to peak to about R16, R17. I mean, those are coming. It was R10 not that long ago. So this is the other thing. Are share prices expensive now? Because I mean, the stock market has increased tremendously. Share price movement has gone up. They're being backed by not too bad results. I think in general, share prices are a little bit expensive. So I wouldn't be rushing for the Woolies. I wouldn't be rushing for the Massmarts just because the results were okay. You need to buy these things before the results actually come out. You need to have an idea of what you expect them to be. So I wouldn't be running towards retailers in general. The one that I did pick up, which was quite good, which was Mr. Price. They actually had an earnings update out as well. I quite like that. That's still 82% cash sales. Very, very good on their apparel side of their business. For a retail side, that's one of my top picks. That and maybe a pick.
So of all the retailers, Mr. Price would still be a buy at these levels, R30.58.
I'm quite happy with that. I love Mr. Price. Good stock.
MTN, on the flip side, we had that share price up close to the top of the top 40, up nearly 3% today, closing at R131. Of course, talks continuing with Bharti Airtel. Apparently some clarity expected mid-September now. Where do you lie on MTN?
They keep on pushing that date forward, but let's just hope it's mid-September. I think listening to the CEO, he also stated that it was a very, very tough year for MTN, one of the hardest that he's ever had to endure, and also still coming out with pretty decent results. I think the biggest thing for MTN, though, was you have to look at that average revenue, per user. That was down quite drastically, and that's very, very important when you're talking about telecommunication business. That's
the figure ARPU figure that everyone looks at.
How much does each individual person bring into my business at the end of the day? That was down, but in line with what's happening in world markets at the moment. MTN, I'm not accumulating because I don't know any more about this Bharti Airtel deal, and the share price has been, yes, it's up a little bit today, but it really doesn't move much further than R130. So I mean, there's not too much movement. Do you think
most investors are sitting on the sidelines with the same stance that you're taking?
I'm holding the stock, there's no problem with that, but I'm not accumulating. What I will rather accumulate is maybe a Vodacom. I think that is showing some better value. But MTN, if you are still holding, remain so. I wouldn't buy until I get some more idea of what's going on with that Bharti Airtel deal. I mean, the CEO also was very vague. He said things could change. So we don't actually know at all what is going to occur.
Your gut feeling, are we going to see that deal going ahead?
I think eventually we will see some kind of a deal, but I don't think it's going to be as they indicated a little while ago. You see, the problem is it's not as sweet for MTN shareholders, and we're starting to see that come through in the share price. The share price is not going further than 130. MTN shareholders want more of a sweetener. I think that's what MTN is fighting for at the moment, and that's why the date gets extended. it over and over again.
As you sat down, we handed you the Basil Reed trading
Basil
update.
Reed,
So this is
great.
instant analysis. I haven't even seen those figures.
Yeah.
And you do have exposure on this front. Let's just get that disclosure out of the way.
I'm completely biased on Basil Reed, but for good reason. It's a fantastic construction business, very much overlooked. It's not really part of the big, Group 5, Murray & Roberts, Wilson, Bailey Homes and so on. But what is interesting, there's a lot of news about this company. They recently bought Impala Construction, which is doubling up their construction side. They're also looking at merging with TWP, which is an open cast engineering mining business. And as you can see, I mean, these earnings just fantastic. Revenue up 47%, headline earnings per share up 35%. I mean, we're in a recession in South Africa, and these guys are still managing
headline earnings per share up 35%.
5%. And their order book's still incredibly large, 6.2 billion. They managed to get a bit of a boost from buying Impala Construction.
And you're satisfied, as you said, with the visibility?
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, it's certainly looking great. I mean, it says no interim dividend declared, but they never do that. They usually declare just one big final dividend. I certainly think this is something to consider. If you're looking for growth in a portfolio, giving you a really good income, this is something that you could look at buying, even at these levels. I think 14 Rand 60. I mean, this is a share price that was almost close to 40 Rand the other day, and they're still doing just as well as they did few years ago. So I'm
15 Rand up 1.5%. That's where we closed on Basil Reed.
We've got a fair value, I think, at about 20 Rand, target price 25. So in our opinion, there's some good value.
And it's still worth accumulating at these levels then?
In my opinion, yes.
Quick look at Avenge, also out today.
Very briefly, I think they had a statement that they're really saying that, look, they were expecting, I think, 15 to 20% decline in earnings. They've changed that now to only a 10% decline. So it just shows that for construction businesses out there, it looks like things are turning for them as well. And that's an index that's been under high pressure. That's still down 50% from its high. And you've seen the stock exchange increase tremendously, and that's about only 20% away from its high. So I think some value might creep into the construction sector where people are selling maybe retailers that they've done well on, banks, and maybe moving that money into something that hasn't performed. And I mean, Basil Reed's a perfect example.
And of course, you're not biased.
Of course, I'm not biased.
Exposure on the Basil Reed front.